we have to drive the set, and they get the shuttle van for us, you know? And, I'll stand there. So, they call it a buddy mic? Come on, buddy. So anyways, I feel like I'm like hidden. Can you see me? So anyhow, all right, we're driving this shuttle. They come pick us up, and we're in the, Jason's in there, and some of the girls are in there, and we've got someone driving. And I'm sitting there, and we're going pretty fast in this. It's like the desert, they're driving us a set. And I was like thinking, dude, I bet I can climb up on the roof, climb out this window, climb over, and get in on this side. Just do it, just go for it. Right? And then Jason's like, you won't do it. And I'll do it. Like, you chicken. I was like, what? And so I did it. I was like, screw this. And I'm doing it because I'm going to show you. And so I climb out the window and I get up on the roof and I'm hanging on. And all of a sudden, like, the car starts swerving. And I realized Jason's like reached over. It's like trying to like. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get back inside. And so I climb over to the side, and I'm like, oh, the window's up. And I see Jason in there. I'm like, dude. And so finally the driver got upset. I was like, roll down the window. And rolled down the window, and I got in. So that was the kind of behavior that we had on set. So. Yes?
What was it like playing Nero at the Center of Sparta?
Wait, who?
Nero.
Nero from Devil May Cry 4?
Yes.
Okay. He's the son of Sparta, okay. I was like, I don't know what game that is. Was it another Nero? Nero is actually one of my most favorite characters to play. And one of the reasons is that, and this was a game if you don't know. And basically, I got a script, and whereas like with Bleach or something like that, like an anime, it's already drawn, so I have to match pictures. So if Ichigo is screaming or crying or whatever, I've got to do exactly what his face is doing, right? I've got to match that voice. Whereas with Devil May Cry 4, it was a script, so I got to make those choices, If I wanted him to cry or scream or whatever, I got to make those choices. So it wasn't limited to pictures. So that first was a really cool plus for me. And then the other added bonus was going to Japan to do all the motion capture, because that's just sweet, I mean, just going to Japan is cool, and then the motion capture was cool. Until you put the spandex on and you're like, oh man. Right, here we go again.
Not wrong with a spandex.
So, yeah. Yes. Really weird. Really weird. Especially like if you've seen it, the face kind of looks like me, but maybe a little more Asian. Like my eyes are a little slantier, or like maybe like when I just wake up and I'm like this. But my head was like, my head is like really tiny, and my shoulders are like, really wide. If you've seen the toy, you can find it online. It looks pretty ridiculous, but it was weird. But at the same time, I was like, "Wow, there's a figure of me. It's kind of cool." So I mean, it was kind of cool. Even the comic. If you've seen the comic, I'm like full on Asian. They were just like, just make him Asian. He's got no German in him. Paint him yellow. That was bad. Yes. Okay, how did I get into voice acting? Purely by accident. Anyways, all right, so this is, and people always ask, how do I get into voice acting? And I'm like, I'm maybe not the best person to ask, and this is why. So after Power Rangers, I did this live action film, which is called Wicked Game, I think, overseas, and then here it's Extreme Heist. And it was basically done by all the stunt guys. So as an action film, it's ridiculous. It's like, holy cow, this is a crazy action film. Story, even acting-wise, was like, And so, but if you just want to see guys get beat up and hurt, I fractured my rib in it and all that stuff, so it's kind of cool as far as that. Anyhow, so we were doing this film, and all the guys, the stunt guys are Japanese, you know, the majority of them at least the guys that are running it. And the camera they had was Japanese as well, so, you know, like the manual, the instructions, the menu, everything was Japanese. And the sound guys weren't. And so when they tried to get the sound out, and like afterwards in post, when we were going in, all that was in the film was just static. So I had to go in and dub my character, which I was playing the hero, the lead. And when I was there, the producer, and Koichi, the director, would punch in and say, "You got a good hero voice." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And in my mind, I'm like, "Okay, I'm playing the hero, so that's right, that's good, right?" And it didn't really make sense until the producer afterwards told me, he's like, "Hey, you know, I do this animation stuff, and you know, why don't you come in and audition for the character?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." And so I went in and to this audition, and they played this anime, and they first played me in a clip in English, and it could have been just a scratch tape, you know, this character that they showed me, and it was really deep. And I was like, okay, and in my mind, I'm like, I sound nothing like this, you know? Am I replacing this guy? And then they played me the Japanese, and the Japanese was totally my range, and I was like, oh, okay, this is, you know, better. And then he said, can you do something similar to the Japanese? And I was like, yo, I'll give it a shot. And so I did, and then a couple weeks later, they called me, and I got the part for Bash and Trigun. And that was really just, that was the start for me. I know, it feels like that, like it feels like you need to clap, but you don't have to. I should have signed. Don't worry, don't clap, don't worry. And so anyhow, so I got that part, and then from there, you know, the guys that were doing it, Kira heard me, and they're like, "They want you to play Donna there, or whatever. Do you want to do it?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, all right." And hung on the phone, I was like, "Yeah." And then so yeah, I just stumbled into it purely by accident. So when people ask me, I'm like, I mean, maybe make a voice demo and send it to people. Because I mean, unless you're going to go and do a film with stunt guys that script the sound, and then hopefully that producer's also doing anime, you can't exactly do it the way I did it. But if I were going to do it and I didn't have all that stuff, you know, I would definitely put together a demo and submit it to all these studios. That's the only way I would think you can get in there, you know, and the bug the heck out of them until they like to give you an audition. Yes.
What do you think was the best part about playing Shoko Sake?
Best part of playing Ichigo? Well, it's kind of like going in there and doing Bleach is a little bit of a stress reliever. Because I usually just kind of go in there and I just scream, yeah. Imagine I'm killing and beating up people. So usually if I'm having a bad day and I leave, I usually leave happy. Lelouch was the opposite. Lelouch had to walk in, have a great day, and walk out disturbed.